It is Debbie Dowling-Wahba and MaryKim Farkas here with the Mom Link. We are excited. I hope everyone had an amazing holiday and a happy new year so far. We're excited to have this conversation today. It's all about, we're going to tap in with our CEO, founder of the Mom Link, and some other ladies who may pop in to share some of their tips and ideas for a mindful and successful 2024 while taking care of our mental health as we wear all the hats as we women do. So Debbie, take it away.
Well, yeah, MaryKim, I'm so excited to be back. And, 2024, we're just going to soar. And I honestly can't wait to see what the year has to hold for us. So I'm looking forward to it, have some goals set like I know you do. And I can't wait to get into this conversation. And so if we're ready, we could actually just bring Crystal up and we could just rock and roll with the conversation.
Sounds amazing.
Hello, ladies. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. What are we in our second week of 2024? I'm excited to be here, ladies. I have yet to join one of these incredible conversations that the two of you ladies have been going strong all throughout 2023 in bringing the Mom Link community conversations around mental health, mindset, and really breaking down the stigma of even having these conversations. So I'm excited to be here as one of your guests today and talking about, 2024, the mindset, and getting a little bit real and raw about, what does January look like for women and moms around the world? How does January feel and look for women around the world at this time of year? And I love sharing tips because we never know when we share our own tips, we never know who that may help and who's listening in. So excited.
And that's
Absolutely
so true.
I have to tell you, for me, I feel like it's hectic already, not in a bad way, but for my son, he's cool. He's great. They have off. I thought it was 2 weeks. It's actually a week, but it felt like 2 weeks. Plus all the holiday days. So you're getting ready for the holiday. You're shopping. You're preparing food. You're getting together with family and friends. I did not finish our Christmas cards. You got the Christmas cards, the New Year's cards, the thank you letters for all the gifts that your son may get from people, what you're getting. It's a lot of stuff happening at the beginning of the year, not counting what are my own personal goals? What's the family goals? What's our self-reflection look like? It's a lot of preparation for me stepping into January to prepare for the year. So it's a little hectic, and I'm glad that my son's in the 5 days of school this week.
Well,
and he cannot get sick.
Can I just say, ladies, this morning here in Canada, our kids finally went back to school today. And this morning, I started off the morning with, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I cannot sing, but let me tell you, I was the best singer this morning when I woke up my kids. And they're like, why are you so excited? I'm like, today's like the most beautiful day. So MaryKim, I hear you. Mine was 2 weeks with the kids out of school, but it definitely felt like 3 to 4 weeks. It's a lot, right? And so you know what, ladies, that kind of drives me right into my very first tip and lesson learned that I'm going to apply in 2024. I already did it, actually. I went to our Mom Link calendar and I actually already blocked off the shutdown for December 2024, where it's a company-wide shutdown, a team shutdown. Like nothing is going to happen between December 21st and January 8th while my kids are at home, not just because it's extreme overwhelm and chaos, but also those are the moments that we get. Those are the moments that are meant to stay still and you're meant to absorb and truly enjoy. And so I've already done that. So my tip number one is if you're a mompreneur, if you got kids who come home and are home with you during the holidays, for your mental health and for their well-being, I would encourage you, if you can, block off that time already. So you've just already set that space for yourself and you've let your community, your team, and everybody who's involved in your business know that that is a shutdown time. So that's my first tip already for 2024.
And my son actually doesn't go back to school until tomorrow. So I feel like he's been home forever. But yeah, he goes tomorrow, and I'll be really happy to drive him. I'll just, do my little happy dance. But yeah, so that's a very important, tip about just scheduling out those times. And I think to try to schedule out your year as much as possible, as far as setting your goals, is you have your goals and you want to have it scheduled out. Okay, by this date, I want to have completed this. By this date, I want to have completed that. Where am I going to take my vacations? Where are the kids home? Because I think when my kids are home full time on their vacations, for me, that's the most important time for me not to be doing anything, because they're distracting me anyway. So it's like it'll take me, like, say if I'm going to watch a movie, an hour and a half movie takes me 5 hours to watch because it's the constant interruptions. So I think that being aware of schedules that we have to, complete and compete with is a big factor in scheduling out.
You know what, Debbie, you just said something that I think we can all resonate with, whether you're a mom or not a mom, or just a wife, a woman in business, whatever it is. I think it's important for us to recognize, and this is why I carved it out, and this is why it's my mental health tip. We carve out time for vacation. We carve out time for the things that we know that are going to bring us joy and that we're expecting, but we don't carve out time for the seasons where we know where aren't our highest moments, aren't our best seasons, right? And so I identified, for me, a lot of people start the new year like it's exciting, new goals, they hit the ground running January 1st. I realized this year that the new year for me is actually more of a difficult time. I'm not that person who's gung-ho and ready to hit the ground running on January 1st. I actually find myself in reflection mode and thinking a lot about what occurred in 2023. I start to think about the things that I didn't accomplish, and I think it's probably my more low challenging time. And so that's why I made it like a priority to carve out and do a company-wide shutdown during that time. Because it's the holidays, we should be enjoying the time with our families and, really relishing in those moments. But number two, I identified, for me, it's not a bad thing that I'm not ready to hit the ground running January 1st and during those times. But for me, I realized it is my time of reflection. It is the time and space that I need to get to that place where I'm ready to hit that ground running. So I think it's something I thought about this year. I think it's normal. I used to think that there was something wrong with me, that January I wasn't ready to hit the ground running, but the rest of the world was. But I don't think it's the rest of the world. I think there's some of us that are excited and hit that ground running January 1st. And I think for some, the new year and the closing of an old chapter, it may be a difficult time as well. So I don't know if you ladies can resonate or understand where I'm coming from with that, but that's definitely me.
Absolutely.
Yes. I can totally resonate. I gave up goals, like being my New Year's, not goals, but New Year's resolutions, like 2 or 3 years ago. I never kept to it. And what I lean into, exactly what you shared, is that self-reflection. What went well? What didn't go well? What did I learn? Where do I want to go? Who should I not surround myself with anymore? What did I learn from it? And that takes a couple weeks. And so I am ready to go on January, but that also ready to go is I'm ready and excited for the new year, but also I'm ready and excited to how much growth am I going to have this coming year based on what I learned the year prior. And that has served me extremely well. And that goes into one of the tips where you shared earlier, Crystal. It's intentional. I'm very intentional and purpose driven. There's a reason why I'm going to spend time here or support someone there. It's intentional and purposely driven because our time is precious. So we have to separate it and schedule it out. So I'm very intentional about, and I'm old school. I got to write it down in my calendar, and I carry that around with me no matter where I go. You will see my calendar in my purse.
And you know what? Last thing I want to add to that is MaryKim said something to me after the holidays. We felt like we hadn't seen or spoke to each other for a while. And MaryKim's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Crystal, but I really am intentional about that during the holiday time. And I just check out of everything." And I said to MaryKim right away, I was like, do not apologize. Like, I just want to say thank you, because thank you for reminding me I need to be better at completely checking out. And it actually filled my heart to know that, MaryKim, you did that. It made me feel like, good for you, MaryKim. Like, the whole world deserves to do that during that time period. So I love that. Okay, sorry.
It's okay. I take the checkout times when I need to, because I know that if I push myself too much, I'm just going to wind up at a bad space. But you know what? We have somebody else that's going to join us right now, and I'm going to bring her up, Miss Tangi Brewer, Miss Stylish and Fit herself.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, Happy New Year, Dr. Tangi.
Happy New Year. You know, I am enjoying our first snow day of the year. This is actually the second day of snow on the ground. So I had to give you a little bit of Chicago flavor today. It's a little cozy and chilly here, but a beautiful day. Great to see you all. How's my Mom Link family today?
Oh, so good. Tangi, I love seeing you in your Chicago style, your glam. I love it. I also love that the snow has hit Chicago and hasn't come over the Canadian border. So you keep it there.
Hey, I'm singing like the girl on Frozen. Is that Eliza? The snow or the cold never bothered me anyway. So I love it.
I love that.
You can keep the snow. I'm in Florida, but it's kind of chilly and yucky today. So, but I'll still take it. So Tangi, what are some of goals or tips you have about goals for the year? What are some of the things you do as far as your goals and achieving them?
Well, I love this podcast that I saw. He does this calendar at a glance. It's like your year calendar at a glance. And so my friends and I, they already started theirs. I missed the first party, but they did like at these poster boards, and everything's at a glance for like literally the entire year, like everything that is supposed to be most impactful. So you plan out your entire year, and then you have a group of people that you celebrate with when you cross those things off together. So you want to have this calendar, you want to map everything all out. So I'm all about now the whole mapping of the year. So that's important for me. I have been breaking it up too in monthly segments. I have a wonderful friend. He's so great. And so we meet every Sunday night and we look at our goals for the week and then the month of January. And then we together talk about our action items, and we have to make sure that we've been actionable that week. So I'm not just about the whole vision board thing. I'm all about action this year. I want to see things crossed off. I want to celebrate. I want to see the needle move. I want to see money flowing in like never before. And you know what's really cool, Debbie, is that because I put my expectation out there this year, like I've already gotten 3 speaking engagements. I speak this Thursday. And one thing that my friend told me, she's like, your name is going to be in rooms that you're not in. And so you have to expect that. Expect for your name to vibrate in rooms that you're not in. They're going to think about you, right? And then they're going to be calling you. So you've got to be ready. You've got to do the work, but you've got to expect to win, right? You got to expect to be on those stages. And just get out there as well. That's another thing that I'm going to be doing, is going to a lot of networking events this year, because I found that the more networking that I do, that proximity matters. And I will tell you this, it's called the Limitless event. I was at that event last year, sitting on the front row, big-eyed, bushy-tailed, like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like listening to these speakers, y'all. And I saw myself on that stage, right? Why did they call me? And they asked if I would MC the Limitless event in March. And I am super excited. So I'm just here to tell everybody that we can have what we think about, you know, and we have to actually have movement in it too as well. We can't just sit there, right? We have to make sure we're getting in the spaces, we're getting to places, but bring your energy and sit on that front row and make eye contact with the people who are speaking. There's something to be said about that. They're going to feel your energy, and then go up to them immediately after the event and let them know what your takeaway was.
And I love that. You know, for me, like I schedule out, I kind of take a look at the whole year, but I love that you said that each Sunday you do that. And for me, like each day I come up with 3 things that I need to accomplish that day. I break it down into day, week, month, year. So
Love it.
and for me, that works. I need the baby steps, but we have somebody else that's going to join the conversation shortly as soon as she comes back to her seat, Miss Camille. We have
Yay.
someone from the Mom Link, just waiting for her to come back. But yes, it's a great conversation. I'm so glad we're all here talking about this stuff. So
Yes.
MaryKim, would you?
Yes, I would love to. Dr. Chanji, you reminded me what we say all the time in the Mom Link, right? In business or even in life, what you shared, going to these networking events, connecting with people in person or online, be intentional, make the connection, do the work to network, but also take action. Just because you're part of a community, just because you hire a coach, you take that course, if you're not taking action, nothing's happening. And people think that because they show up and sit there and not take action, they're going to be successful in life and business. And that's a facade. You got to do the work and you have to show up.
I love that, MaryKim. You're absolutely right. And you're one that shows up every single time with that beautiful smile and your energy, even on Zooms too, MaryKim, you're always smiling. I call that the clap back to the speaker. And you're always giving them energy. And people remember that you want to be memorable, right? At these events that you're going to, not just going to the networking events, but being memorable. And you're definitely one of those memorable people, Mary.
Thank you, love.
She absolutely is. And you're always bringing the right attitude to the game. Tangi sent me a reel during the holidays, and it's about I guess, Tangi, the theme I got from it was like, don't sweat the small stuff. You know, somebody gives you attitude, don't give them attitude back. Life is way too damn short for that, right? Like, and so MaryKim, I see that. I've seen you in action. I've seen an uncomfortable situation. We're on audio platforms. We're on stages together. We're on Zooms together. I've caught you, MaryKim, and I see always that smile and that positive kind of energy. And I really admire that about you. And I think it's an important reminder. So I guess that's another tip to move into 2024 with. Be on constant reminder. Life is too short. Your energy is yours. And just because you have a nasty customer or a disgruntled client or someone who you had some type of disagreement with, remember to not sweat the small stuff, and remember to not reciprocate that negative energy, and to actually just remind yourself it's not worth it. So I think that's one of the other tips. The other tip that Tangi talked about, and I just want to recap really quick. Tangi, you talked about planning. And I think what I've realized coming out of 2023, it's not the goal setting that's the most important. I think what's the most important is actually planning out your monthly calendar, especially if you're a woman in business and are an entrepreneur. You need to know what's happening in your business 12 months ahead of time. Why? Because that will assist with your mental health. And here today on Mondays, we talk about mental health, right? And when you plan out your calendar and forget about the goal setting, you're technically still setting out those goals because you're planning to do the event in June, you're planning to, tackle something in March. And when you do that, you're actually contributing to your mental health because you're removing the chaos. You're actually forcing yourself to say yes to the things that you can fit into your calendar and no to the things that are not going to be able to fit in there. So if you haven't set out your 12-month calendar for the year in business, I think personally, my tip is try and do that before you really start to say, I'm going to accomplish this year and I'm going to accomplish this. First, figure out what are the things you're actually responsible for in your entrepreneurial journey for the next 12 months. Set those down. I think the other thing that I took away, and it was never my thing, and I'd love to this would be a great way to segue Camille into the conversation too. And I got this from BWC. Everybody talks about your word for the year. And I was never somebody who picked a word for the year, but I did this year. And it's crazy because every time I think about what's happening in the Mom Link for the next 12 months, it brings me back my word. My word pops in my head. And it's weird because I've never picked a word. So I will start off because I want to hear everybody's word. But my word for the year, and it's holding me accountable, is joy. So whatever I do, it has to bring joy. And that's literally my word for the year, because when Tangi sent me that reel about don't sweat the small stuff, don't put energy into things because life is too short, joy is like my number one driving word for whatever I do in business and life. So I'd love to hear everybody else's word for the year. And welcome to the stage over here, Miss Camille Jones, rocking it out.
So for me, I've been doing the word of the year for 4 years now. So this is my 4th year. And my first one was focus. My second one was intentional. My third one, no, it was oh my goodness, what was it? Present. Then it was focus. Then it was intention. This year is fearless because I tend to hold myself back because I'm afraid of things like going live or doing videos. So for me, I just, and I've learned to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, but now this year is my year to be fearless and just really step into the things that I need to step into and stop letting the fear hold me back. So my word is fearless.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you my word. My word is visibility for this year. I want total clarity on all of the things that I'm doing. And I was thinking about like the plane. My favorite part of a plane ride is always the landing. So I want to have smooth landings with the manifestations of my vision. In order to do that, you need to have visibility. So that's mine.
Oh, I love that. I'll go. I've been doing the word of the year before Clubhouse, and I've done all of them that Debbie had shared. I don't remember which year was what, but this year it's actually 2 words because I haven't been able to combine it into one. It's being comfortable in the uncomfortable. And what that means to me is the goals and the dreams that I have and the things I want to achieve in 2024 is bigger than my reach. It's me leaning into my faith and trusting what's in me is going to come to fruition with God's grace. That is my one word.
All right. I'm excited. If you haven't told. Reason I'm so excited. I haven't seen you ladies since last year. Like, hello. Woo woo. I'm just
It does
saying.
feel like forever.
Right. So before I even say my word, the reason why I was doing all this dancing and going off and all this stuff, I was doing that with intention. The intention of that is I am all about authenticity, being unique, and knowing that just being yourself doesn't mean you have to be like this because we're having a business meeting. Doesn't mean you have to be. Just come as you are, and you'll see how many more people are going to be gravitated to you. So now, before I get to my word again, because y'all got me hype, and I'm high on coffee right now, and right now I'm really high on coffee because I'm shouldn't be drinking it because I'm detoxing. So I'm like, woohoo! Is first I gotta say to Crystal, joy, bump it up, and pain. Sunshine,
I love it.
and rain. You gotta have a little bit of intermission in between here, and then we gotta face everything and rise because we are fearless like Debbie. She's standing up and showing up because she knows it's all about visibility, and that is what Miss Tangi's doing by getting so many already on day 8 of 2024 already having speaker engagements. Hello, look at her. She's ready. She has on her hat. She has on her glasses because the paparazzi is seeing her showing up. That visibility is definitely seeing us. Next thing you know, we're gonna see her in Shade Room. Excuse me. Love it. And then you know what, Miss MaryKim, you just made me go grr. You want to know why you made me go grr? Because you just showed me about the power of grit. No longer are we playing small. We are coming here with that grit and that power because we know this life is all about being bigger and enlarged. All right. Just have to put that. That was my little recap of everyone's. And now, what is mine? Let me just take you to where mine is. Let's just go for a walk, everybody. So, my last year's word was consistency. That was 2023. This year's word, 2024, is I am abundance. Let's go. The power of abundance is knowing that everything that I desire is right here and it's right now. There's so much for us to take. There's no such thing as scarcity mindset. There's 8 billion people in this entire world. And I don't want 8 billion people coming to me, but I definitely want 1 million. And so do we all. And it's just knowing that this world is abundance. We are not lack of. There's abundance of everything around us, abundance of air, abundance of nature, abundance of houses, people, opportunities. So let's remove that scarcity mindset. Now I get excited to be around people in my same industry, the same paths I'm in, because you know what? I'm learning from them. I'm growing from them. And then I'm bringing my unique authenticity into it. Right. So that was my little snipper. Thank you, coffee, for giving me that extra little bit of
Gotta love it. I love that summation, Camille. I love that. And yes, abundance totally surrounds you. To sum up your word, we see you with it. Whoop, whoop.
You see, and then another thing too, what I'm gonna say for us all, and I'm just gonna label it for all of us, okay? And if you could take it back if you won't, if you want to, but I know you won't, is the power of community, common unity. We have an amazing momland community that's growing because of the common unity. We have amazing community collaborations because of that common unity, right? So as we start understanding the power of that common unity, we'll see that that visibility will appear. That scarcity mindset is gone. There comes the abundance to be able to be in front of other people and have that fearless opportunities to face everything and rise, and then not to be, not to be held back and have that power. And of course, I love, Crystal, how you said joy, because in everything that we do, we have to remember the joy that we're putting into it. Because if we lose that joy, then, then we get that, then our mindset starts to shift into everything else that, that rabbit's hole. And I love that. So just have to say that. And I appreciate you all.
I think we all need to remind ourselves throughout the year, like, if it doesn't bring you joy, really, what is the purpose of it in your life, and does it need to take up space in your life? And that was my big word. I have two elderly grandparents who celebrated their 64th anniversary yesterday. And I highlighted for me the joy piece even more, because my grandfather did not know it was his anniversary. My grandfather, is definitely been, going through some Alzheimer moments. And that reminded me, at the end of the day, when, really, if something is not bringing you joy, does it have a place to take up space in your life? And the only people that can control our joy and control our happiness and our mental health in life really is up to us, right? It's up to us to put things in our life and to remove things from our life that don't bring us joy. And then the important part about it is not to have any guilt associated with it, because you are ultimately responsible for your happiness in life and in business and in all things. So
I love that. And can I just add to that really quickly? There is when you have the self-awareness of your own self, when you understand your own inner temperaments and the things that you will allow and disallow, allow you to become more aware of the times that you need to remove yourself, or that you need to get your cup filled. And even to speak on your joy, that word on joy, and what you were saying is, last week on LinkedIn, and this is not a shameless plug, it really is not, it's more of me giving back to you all on a revelation that I had on, if this is going to matter to you in 10 years. If this isn't going to matter to you in 10 years, why are we putting so much stress into it in the now? Right? So when you really look at the larger picture of things, especially in the now, when you're stressing over something, are you going to even remember about this 5 years from now? Is it going to add into your joy? So there's a lot of things that I posted something about that the other day, and it was just so powerful. And I stick to that now. Is it going to add to my joy as we go on? Or is it something that is only going to be in the now, that's temporary, that I just need to work through to get to that another level? So I love that. Joy cometh in the morning. You know that.
Hey, Mary, I see Mary commenting in the chat. And, Camille, I want to bring up something. And ladies, Camille and I had a conversation the other day, and I want to bring it up because I think it's a little bit taboo and it's not talked about a lot. But I think this is the space and place to do it, right? This is Monday Mindset, mental health, real raw conversations. And one of the things I kind of touched upon it in the beginning. We can all right now, if I were to ask you ladies and anybody listening in, viewing, can you identify the time of year where you're slaying your own dragons and not slaying dragons, where you are battling your own lows, or you're battling your own moments of defeat or challenges? Nobody's immune to this. I don't care. Any of you ladies here who say, no, I don't go through it, I'm happy all 12 months, every single day of the year. No, it doesn't exist. And I don't think we talk about it as often enough. And I shared in the beginning of this live, I think January is that time for me. People get excited coming into the new year. I think for January, there's a group of people in the world who maybe might be the difficult time, might be that seasonal moment in their life. So I think for me, I think it's important. I've learned this year. I think we need to identify when that season occurs. And if you can actually plan that season and know, ooh, I tend to struggle a little bit during this season. And I'll throw it over to Miss Stylish and Fit here. I'm not even going to call Tangi by her name today because she's stylish.
I know.
By her name. But I'm going to throw it over to you, Tangi, because when we identify these things, and Camille and I talked about it, that's when you need to up your vitamin D. Maybe that's when you need to up your workouts. Maybe that's when you need to be cognizant of things that don't increase your mental health. So I don't know about you ladies. Do you recognize in the 12-month cycle when you do have the moments where you're challenged or you're slaying your own dragons? And have you planned for it and not just planned for the highs of your 12 months?
Well, I love this conversation, Crystal, and bringing up the authenticity and the realness of just being human, especially as women, which we carry so much, right? We literally incubate things that what a man is going through, the children are going through. Sometimes we hold on to those things. And for me, Crystal, I don't know if there's one particular time of the year. More so is that I've identified when it happens, because really it can strike at any time, right? Like that feeling, something that you're going through can strike, and you have to really look in and say, okay, how am I going to get a hold of this joy, and how I'm going to make sure that it doesn't change me. Like with stoicism, right? It's understanding that you can't control what goes on in your life. And I realized that a long time ago. And I believe that that's what's helped me deal with situations. But you mentioned wellness, which is huge. Like, how do we protect our bodies? And you're right, Crystal. The way that we eat, our digestive system, it affects the way that our mind is able to have that ability to produce serotonin, even, which is that happy hormone. And people don't realize that it's the way that they eat that can change the very environment of the body. The more toxic your thoughts are, it's like a rippling effect, just like an avalanche, right? Like we have snow in Chicago, but that thing, if you have one ball, it just creates a huge thing. When you allow those negative actions to take root. I came up with this acronym a long time ago called MOLD, MOLD, a mountain of listed disappointments. And when you allow those disappointments to set on your life, mold sets in. But how do you get rid of that, Crystal? You're absolutely right. You got to get the freshness in, fresh vegetables, right? You got to oxygenate this body too as well. You have to work out because we all have a hippocampus, right? And it's our ability to see how we even view ourselves, and you can shrink that. So some people, Crystal, are having a poor view of themselves, not because they're just feeling like they're going through something emotional, but it's because it's literally something in their body is physically happening that's making them have a poor image of themselves. The missing link between health and wellness and mental health has got to be like on the forefront of your mind. We've got to make sure that we are taking care of these bodies. And when you put in the work out, now it's preserving your body for years to come. There was a guy, it was so crazy, Crystal, I got to send this to you. He was proving, he's this doctor, he was saying that a woman who is obese and works out will have a longer lifespan than someone who is skinny, who looks fit, who does not work out nearly as much. When you work out, you're actually putting 3 hours or more extended to your lifespan. But that also has to do with mental wellness, because we know that broken heart syndrome exists, Crystal. There are people who can pass away from a broken heart, and that can cause breast cancer and other illnesses in their body. This is huge as women. We incubate things, right? And we can hold on to things, and that causes growths in the body too as well. So this is the whole conversation that we can have separately, Crystal, but I would love to hear everyone else's comments about it.
I'm loving
the mold analogy was huge. Dr. Tangi, drop that in the chat for everybody who didn't catch the acronyms for your word mold. But I love that, Tangi. And the last thing I'll say to that is, and maybe plug your ears, Miss Stylish and Fit, for this one. Okay, plug your ears up. So if you're going to eat those bombs and not eat your healthiest, choose it during your highest moments. But in your lows, that's when the mold will grow. So that's when you need to eat your healthiest.
Yeah, I just wanted to add really quickly, and I'll pass up to MaryKim on what Dr. Tangi was saying, which is so true about what we eat. There's even a Netflix special on right now on "You Are What You Eat," experiment between two twins. But before we even get to that, and this is where I'm going to speak to the average everyday person who may just now be getting into wellness. They may not be, an ex-athlete. They may not be already even understanding their food. And that is intimidating too for them because it is a learned habit that we need to readjust and adjust. It's not like we could go, I'm going to do this wellness plan, I'm going to change my diet and it's going to go great. No, it's not if you're not used to that habit. So what I have learned when it comes to wellness, before we could even get to the nutrition or the workouts, is our mindset. Personal development, having that clarity of what you truly want. And then when you get that mindset clarity, then you're going to get into that feeling. How does it feel when you've achieved these things? And then that's where you build up the desire to take these actions. And especially on those times when your back is against the wall, because it's through the times of adversity is when we tend to fail. When I say fail, it's quit. That's when we tend to quit, when we tend to give up, is through those times of adversity. But when we have a deeper understanding of ourselves and our goals and our clarity, and that's why when it comes to wellness, I always tell people, it's all about the be, do, have. But so many of us are stuck on the do and have. You got to do this. You got to work out. You got to eat clean or in order to have a better mindset, in order to have this, have that. But what about the person you need to become first? So that it becomes more of a feeling. So it becomes more of like that joy, that fearless, that visibility, that feeling, to live larger and bigger. We need to get into that feeling in order for us to build up new habits and create it to become a lifestyle. So it's so correct. And once you get that feeling and when you start putting in the work, like what Dr. Tanji's saying with the foods in combination with the personal development, that's why it's huge when you're doing anything with wellness that you're incorporating your personal development into your whole wellness plans, because it does go hand in hand, especially on those times of adversity. And then when you are eating well and you are working out, that's when you celebrate your 1%. I did it. I did 20 minutes today. I celebrate myself. Thank you. It feels so good. I want to do it again tomorrow. So that's just what I wanted to add on to that too as well, because there's just I love that mountain of listed disappointments. I don't know what happened to Dr. Tanji. Maybe the paparazzi called her. No, just joking. I know she's on her phone too as well. But I'm absolutely loving this conversation because the biggest thing I'm going to say, and I'll pass it off to MaryKim now, right after this, is the number one thing I took from 2023, and I'm going to keep on singing it from the mountains, at least for the month of January, is I never truly understood how much the power of personal development is the leader in everything that I do. And even though I am helping others in their development, in their wellness, not to neglect mine either. And when I started really getting into me, it's overflowing into we. So the biggest thing I've taken from 2023 is wellness, personal development. There's no 30 days. There's no 90 days. This is a lifestyle. This is a journey. This is your legacy. And you don't want to be sitting down on your deathbed saying I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but was limited by feeling like as if you're a lack of or less of. So, MaryKim, I hope you're this way of me, right? Or am I right? All right.
Yeah, this is the value and the gift of surrounding yourself with like-minded women who are doing the thing, not just pretending or just talking the talk without walking the walk. And that's the gift of this community. But I agree with everything that everyone shared. And I've been working on my health, meaning being more intentional about what I'm eating, looking at ingredients. And I've been doing it for about 1.5 years. And my sister's been watching me, and it took her, she actually mentioned, Camille, the series, the Netflix show about the twins, because she's seen that she's not losing weight, that she's not being healthy. She's having all these side effects. And I'm like, Liz, it's what you're eating. And of course, I'm the older sister, yada, 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 whatever. But she's partnering with her friend, and they're talking about that Netflix thing. So she's making better decisions. And I say that because for me, when I decided, I only learned how much ingredients affect us when we eat them. Certain foods have certain reactions to us. And I felt that. So for me, I could buy a whole big cake. I could buy a whole loaf of bread, and I'll eat the whole thing. I cannot buy it in the house. So I play this mindset thing for me is I'll go to the grocery store. I'll buy all the healthy stuff that I want to eat. And I tell myself, I cannot buy anything. I can't go out to eat until I finish all this healthy stuff. And then by the time the month is almost over, I made all the food, I'm eating all the stuff, and I have less moments where I'm feeling that I want to grab those donuts or grab that cake because I'm full with the food that's giving me vitality and all that stuff. So for me, it's kind of a choice, but also I play this mindset game for me because I'm a foodie. I can eat things.
That part, and I want to just, before I hand it over to you guys, I want to hit that part again. Mindset. Everything that we do comes and begins with self-awareness and getting into that feeling. Now that you're aware of how this food makes you feel, you're going to, be more conscious about it. You're also aware of your habits now. If you see it there, you already know you're not at a level yet where you can see it there and leave it. So you are being proactive by not having it in your surroundings. And that's what I want a lot of us to see when it comes to motivation in our Monday and anything that we do, whether it be in our wellness, whether it be in our business, in our relationships. First, look at how you are treating yourself. How disciplined are you in your own practice on the things that you say you're going to do for you? And then we're going to build into all the things that you desire by getting into these feelings. And when you get into those feelings and then be a part of spaces and places such as the Mom Link, this is where you mastermind and you create the strategies and the systems to be able to do the things you know you need to do so that you can have all that you desire. But the part that is always missing and why we bring this amazing room to you all every single week is that B. And everything that everyone has talked about right now, these are all of the amazing steps that you're doing. And it's all because of the amazing, amazing individual woman that you are becoming. So I love that, MaryKim, and I love that you caught that little, you know what, I'm going to put this away here because I know how it makes me feel. And even that Netflix thing, it shows vegan versus meat eating, and it's both still good diets. It's not to say one is going to end up being sluggish, like supersize your fries. It's nothing like that. So we're not going to discredit anybody that is a meat eater versus a vegan, because it's a personal choice as long as it's healthy for your body. And also to understand that everybody's hormones are different. You'll know what works for you as your body reacts to it, right? It's about being more self-aware and then also understanding your feelings. How does it make your body feel? Are you sluggish? Are you feeling great? Love it, MaryKim, and I love your lipstick. Like everybody, sorry, it's like glistening. It's like a sorry, but as she was talking, I was always looking at her lips. I'm like, oh, she's like shining on me.
She's all shiny, right? Yeah, and so for me, like I say, the hardest person to face is yourself. We're great at giving advice to other people. We're great at telling them to take the time. We're great at giving them advice. But the hardest person to face is ourselves, and to be honest with ourselves. And once we can do that and have those honest conversations and realize, okay, well, this is where I'm at, that changes everything. When you're honest with yourself and you know who you are inside and out, you're the only one that you can make yourself happy. You're the only one you're in charge of yourself and yourself only. You cannot control anybody else around you. The only person you can control is yourself. So once you are happy with yourself, that's when things change, both in your mind and everything. Oh, I love that, Camille.
It is. That's the thing. So many times we're so caught up on thinking that as people are doing this to me, that person's doing that. And I always say now, again, this is a new learned habit and behavior that I developed through my own personal development journey, is nobody can do anything to me that I don't allow them to do. So when people now give me spice, even my kids, I'm like, I'm not even allowing that energy to come to me. When someone is going, before I would try to be that mediator, try to do this. Now I'm like, if my energy is getting worked up by that person, I love you, I respect you, I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you in a bit. And I will give you that time. But I also know that I'm not allowing my inner feelings to lead that conversation, or am I not going to allow it to lead my whole day? Because it can change your whole day. You can be stuck in that one spot. And especially as women, when I'm reading this book right now in my 5 a.m. club called The 3 Feet from Gold. And they're doing this on one of the meetings. They're meeting with this lady who created this magazine called Pink. And she created it for women in business because she was tired of seeing all of these women books such as Cosmopolitan, which is just about fashion and gossip. What about us women, real women in business? And what are the trials and errors that we go through? And she was saying a lot of times us women, more than our male counterparts, will hold on to things a lot more. It will hit our feelings more and it will carry us a lot greater. And so many times that we feel even ashamed to talk about it, so we keep it on us. Heavy is the head that wears a crown, which is the crown of a woman. So we'll keep it in. But when we have spaces and places such as this one where we're able to express ourselves, to relieve ourselves, even sometimes those feelings, because we are going to get other people's feelings. I could say as much as I want that I ricochet people's emotions, but no, they still come in too at times. But now there's spaces and places that we're able to connect and collaborate and get that support and accountability to realize, hey, this is just a moment, not a movement, and this is more than who we are becoming. So just wanted to share that with you all. Love you all. I talk a lot, but you know that's me.
It's okay, Camille. You know what reminds me, and I'm going to say it before whoever wants to take the mic after. That is why we are hosting in the Mom Link our first Empower Her Hour. I think it's Wednesday, the third Wednesdays. I think it's the 17th. I don't have a calendar, at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's to create a safe space for women within our community or those who want to join and pop in to have that safe space of dumping, right? Just to get out whatever's on your head, to have a space where, you know, you could share what's on your heart or what's on your mind without judgment. And we're creating that space because we know how much women carry all that stuff. And sometimes we don't have a place that we can just dump it and they understand. Even if our friends and family love us and they'll support us, they're like, what the heck is she talking about? So I'm excited. We're hosting it. So definitely tap into us. We want to see you all there. So I'll pass the mic.
You know, and yes, it is going to be the third Wednesday. The third Wednesday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes.
I love that. I love that you ladies, Debbie, you cut out there, but I was reading your lips and like, all right, I know when to come in. But I was just going to say, ladies, I love that you're doing this Empower Her opportunity for once a month. As a member of the Mom Link community, women can come together, because one of my tips for 2024, and I will scream it from the rooftops, if you are a female in business, if you are a woman entrepreneur, a mompreneur, you need to have a safe space to be able to mastermind, to be vulnerable in regards to business. And there is no sense in stressing or wondering or, you know, brainstorming and doing all of this alone when you can do it alongside other female entrepreneurs who are in the same trenches as you are. There's so much benefit to being able to mastermind in a group. So I love that you ladies, for, you know, the membership experience, carved out this time for the women of the Mom Link community to come out, to mastermind together, to brainstorm together, and just to support each other in these next 12 months of the year.
Yeah, and that's what we know, like we identified, is that as women, we do need that support. And we figured that if we just did it just once a month, at least we could start something and it may grow from there. But just having that safe space for women to come, to be able to just talk, and maybe they have something going on in their life that they need advice on, but just to have that space to create and just allow them to be a part of it. So,
hey, Cameron.
Yeah, so today's the first day back to school after a very, very long holiday. And but he's the last one to get sick, because everybody got sick in the holidays except him. And until, of course, the first day of school, then he gets sick. So the power of a mother, the essence of a woman is, you know, we just keep it going. And I love Debbie. Thank you for that. I was like, let me just bite my nail. Woo! That's why I love it. It's authenticity. So I love it.
No, you know,
Sorry, let me put him on mute because he's gonna start talking to me.
Santi loves Sonic.
Oh, Santi loves Sonic. This is for Crystal's son. This is the Mom Link, everybody. So just love us. And just Cameron wants to show Crystal's son, Sonic.
It's Super Sonic.
Oh, Super Sonic. Okay, I love you. Go and lie down because remember
yes,
you're sick. Remember,
get your character straight. I was saying earlier, my son doesn't go back until tomorrow. So, and yes, it feels like it's been an eternity, but yes, I can't wait. But yes, so MaryKim, anybody have any final thoughts?
I just want to say it's been a great conversation. Tap in every Monday at 11 a.m. And if you want to join us, tap into myself or Debbie, probably best, because Debbie's on top of the schedule and she keeps it straight for myself of who's coming on. But either one of us, we want, if you have anything to share about mindset, mental health, let's collaborate together and continue this conversation that is well needed. And I just loved having you ladies here today with us for the first time with Crystal and Dr. Tangi and Camille and Mary in the chat. So it's been really, really great. And I cannot wait for all of us to see where we are 1 year from now. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, and I want to add that I definitely connect with us if you want to be a guest and share about mindset. We're already booked into February, so we're just rocking and rolling. So we're into February already. MaryKim, can you believe it? I can't believe
Thank
it.
you, Debbie. Debbie does a lot of hustling behind to like grab people in and set them up. I'm like, okay, great. I do the other work behind the scenes.
That's teamwork makes the dream work, and that goes to the whole thing of community, and that's why we need each other, because we can't do it alone. And you can find me everywhere as Debbie D. Wahba. So, Crystal, would you like any parting words? And then Camille and then Crystal?
It was a great conversation, ladies. I love that you ladies are continuing this on in the MomLink community, holding down this Monday Mindset Corner, breaking stigma around mental health, relieving people of the pressures of even talking about mental health and where we're at, and actually just having real raw conversations to make that next female entrepreneur, that mompreneur, not feel alone in her journey, and reminding women around the world that there is a global community that you can get connected with, stay connected to, and not feel alone in this journey of entrepreneurship. So thank you, ladies. I appreciate you ladies holding this space down every Monday in the MomLink community.
And I just want to say you all are thebomb.com. That's all I want to say. You all are thebomb.com. You want to know why? Because we all showed up. And when we show up for ourselves, we're showing up for so many others that needed to hear this message today. So I just celebrate us for showing up today and just saying we're thebomb.com. And let's continue to know that life does not go in a straight line. It goes up and down and around. But always remember, this too shall pass. So don't get stuck in either the high or the low. This too shall pass. Keep it moving. You got this. Let's go.
That reminds me of my favorite quote, if I can get the words out. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Great way to end it, Debbie. I love that. What a great reminder. Ladies, have an amazing rest of your Monday. Yes. Thank you, everybody who tuned in, catching the replay. Have an amazing rest of your day, ladies.
Thank you, everyone.